Hello everybody, Glass Half Dead here, and today I want to talk about White Dwarf and Kill Team, and how the latest White Dwarf does not have any Kill Team rules in it, what we can extrapolate from that, and just have a chat and complain about some things, but also say some things are good. If I had to guess at what I'm going to say, it's probably that, because I have no real content for you. I just want to talk about Kill Team, maybe because I like it. I don't know, let's find out. Before I dive into it though, if you could leave a like, a comment, a subscribe, all that good stuff, that'd be awesome. And check out my Patreon, because I honestly couldn't make as many videos without my patrons, who are awesome people. Thank you. We've now seen the front cover for December's issue of White Dwarf. We've also seen the index page, the appendix, whatever it's called, and there are no Kill Team rules. Cool, fine, alright. I'm feeling okay. So when Kill Team dropped, we got the AdMech, we got the Warp Coven. I foolishly went out and bought a White Dwarf subscription because I thought, oh wow, we're going to be getting a new Kill Team in every single White Dwarf. I might as well subscribe. I get 2 issues free, the pricing wise. Cool, let's do it. Obviously, I'm going to want all of those rules. Yes, you can get them off Wikipedia, but I'm a diehard. I'll pay that £4.50 a month. Fine, whatever. We've now had 2 months of White Dwarf where we haven't had any Kill Team rules. Yes, that's the word, rules. And it's probably time to think about what that really means. So I think, okay, this is 100% just I'm guessing, I'm extrapolating the info from what we've seen so far. I could be entirely wrong. It could be there were delays, and now every single issue from here on out for the next 10 years is going to have Kill Team rules. I don't know. However, I would guess, if I had to, and apparently I do because I need to make content somehow, right? That when we were given the roadmap for Kill Team, we saw that everything was broken down into quarters. And so every 3 months we were going to get new Kill Teams, new kill zones, new rules. Cool. Then, most likely, due to some delays, we had 3 kill teams drop at the very end of one of the quarters that they had laid out. And then we went over that month line from October to November, and suddenly we had another 3 teams dropped on us. So as soon as Kill Team hits, we were given 6 artisanal teams. Some people immediately complained that was too much. Some people, whatever, what can you do, right? Fine, if you want to complain, I guess. Don't complain about that, but whatever. And so if you average things out, what we're getting is a box that gives us 2 teams and a White Dwarf that gives us 1 team every 3 months. So it's essentially averaged out 1 team a month. Now obviously that's the guess. This is the guess here, that White Dwarf is only going to give us new kill teams every 3 months. So we won't normally be getting that bumper back-to-back White Dwarf release of Hunter Clade followed by Warp Coven, right? We're not going to get that. Who knows what the next one will be? They don't really do that. They don't tell us. They don't give us any hints. It's just, yeah, it could be anything. So going with that as my posited idea, let's assume that's real. What does that mean for us as kill teamers? Teamers of the kill, if you will. I like it, actually. Which is odd. So I've been really on the fence about whether or not I like White Dwarf rules releases. Fine, I guess. I'll deal with it. Fine, I've come around to it, I guess. Whatever. It's whatever. It's a £5 and you get your team's rules. And let's be honest, within 2 months or within 2 weeks or 4 weeks, it's going to be on Wikipedia. So you can just get your rules there. Whatever. I'll deal with it. Cool. I think we could potentially end up in a really negative situation where we get the drop of 3 teams right at the beginning of one of the quarters, and then a drop of 3 teams right at the end of the next quarter, almost giving us a full 6 months between. I assume that's not how they want to drop Kill Team on us, and if that does happen, it will be due to, we know they're having issues with shipping, right? Like they obviously are. They announced that the Gene Stealers and the Custodes codices are being pushed back at least a month, if not more. So, fine. I forgive them for that because international shipping is an issue at the moment. Cool. But if we just take the idea that we're getting 1 new kill team a month, actually, I like that. I like the idea of every month getting a rules drop, and that's That's the game. That's the speed that we are getting releases. Awesome, cool. Okay, yeah, it's being bunched up, obviously. What's really happening is 1 month we are getting 2 new teams, and then another month, either the next month or the month after, we're getting 1 new team. And so you can actually get a really nice pacing set where you get 2 teams drop, month off, 1 team drops, month off, 2 teams drop, month, right? Like, that's actually pretty good. Like, as a pace to get new rules, I think I really like that. Okay, it's kind of like all downhill from here. So if you just enjoyed the positive side, you can turn off now, because now we have to talk about 40k. And we have to talk about the fact that we are now in a release cycle similar to 40k. We're not talking about power creep, okay? We're not talking about power creep, codex creep, all that stuff. That's another video. I really don't want to have to make it. But whatever, let's ignore that, okay? I'm sure I'm going to have to make that video at some point. But we're not doing that today. Today, I just want to talk about release cycles and what that means. It means that some teams are not... Okay, let me do some quick maths for you, all right? Hot sauce, raw sauce, okay? The way teams are releasing, as just hypothesized, is 1 team a month. Now, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that there are 12 months in a year. So that means we have 12 kill team releases, 12 faction releases within the year. There are 18 factions in the game, okay? Bleh. So, we've got 6 teams that are not going to get any rules updates for at least 1 year. What if you're one of those teams? Also, on top of that, we don't... okay, no, I'm about to go way off on a tangent here. Rein it in. Just a very quick note. We also have no idea for the future of Kill Team. For example, let's take Vet Guard, let's take Commandos. Yeah, they're cool. Are they ever getting a rules update? Or is that them done? We have no clue. They might get their sub-faction, right? But then does that sub-faction also apply to the compendium team? That sounds like a mess of rules to balance. And Kill Team is, this edition, far more balanced than it was last edition. So I kind of imagine the sub-factions would have to be really... Oh, it would be a mess. It would be a nightmare. Like, it would be such a difficult thing to balance, to give every faction, which could be used across the super factions, so both Commandos and Greenskins, to give them a total of, what, 6 sub-factions? 8 sub-factions that both teams can use? Madness. Or I suppose you could say, okay, well, Commandos can be sub-faction Bad Skulls or Goths, and that's it. One or the other. But then Greenskins get, you know, everything else. Death Skulls, Bad Moon, Goths, everything, right? Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, right, I got sidetracked. What do my bullet points say? Kill Team is supposed to be all artisanal teams, okay? I think that's clear. I don't think that's a big thing to say. Like, obviously, the game is balanced and designed for everyone to be using the artisanal teams. Therefore, because this isn't 40k, right? This isn't 40k. This is Kill Team. It's a brand new game. And therefore, because every team and the game of Kill Team is balanced around artisanal teams, there are only 6 real teams released at the moment. Compendium teams are not real teams. Are you a Necron player, a Death Guard player, a Space Marine player, an Eldari player? You don't have a real Kill Team. That's kind of weird, right? Let me just rein myself in a smidge. I actually really like the Compendium. I think the Compendium is a great thing. I think the Compendium is an amazing way for you to learn the game of Kill Team, like the mechanics. And I think that actually, if you just remove everything else, Compendium is fine. The core rules plus Compendium, you have a game there that you never really need to expand upon. You don't need to, like, that could be its own thing. It could be its own box. You never have to buy anything else. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're not reasonable people. This is the internet. We do not look at the positive. We look at the negative. We drill down on it until we just want to die. But I mean, be realistic. How much do you think they actually play tested Commandos into all 18 factions of the compendium. Plus, then tested commandos into all 18 of the real artisanal kill teams. That's insane. They didn't do that. They can't have. They very clearly had the compendium as a thing, and then they had all of the real teams. The compendium is the indexes of 8th edition 40k. It's a thing, it's data sheets, it's nothing else. It isn't as balanced as it should be, which is fine in a vacuum. But if you... Okay, so a lot of people in Warhammer like their faction. So many people still in the Facebooks and the Reddits are like, hey, I love Imperial Guard. I don't want to play Vet Guard. I want to play Scions. And that's what they're doing. Because Scions are a different fantasy flavour to whatever Vet Guard are and to whatever regular Guardsmen are. So Scions, that's their team. People are dedicated to a faction. Now in 40k, that obviously makes a lot of sense because the pure hobby time and money that it takes to start a new faction is outrageous, like absolutely insane. In Kill Team, we do have a slight edge. I could be, let's say, a Necron main. That could be my thing. I love flayed ones because I like to see skin dripping off robots. That's my jam. Yeah. But you know what? Hey, those new commandos look cool. I'm going to play them until I get my Necrons, right? Like, and you could do that. It's 10 models. If you can't afford 10 models, if you don't have the time to paint 10 more models, maybe don't play Warhammer. Maybe, there are probably better things to do with your time and money if you can't find that much time, right? You could be interested in Warhammer and Kill Team and stuff, but, don't pretend you have opinions online and that your view should be valid, as valid as somebody else's when it comes to how the game should be balanced, etc., if you don't play the game. I'm saying people that play the game can probably, let's be honest now, afford to paint 10 more models, both monetarily and time-wise. And if you're not doing that anyway, you're probably not playing the game at all, so just enjoy that there are models and rules, I guess. I don't know. I have definitely just insulted a whole huge group of players with that statement, haven't I? I apologise, it's my bad. But if you really want to get back at me for accidentally insulting you there, I strongly recommend the $10 tier of my Patreon, as those are the only people I actually listen to. Everybody else, I honestly just copy-paste some random Warhammer inspirational quote in the comments too, so my bad. Back on topic, it's good that Games Workshop is treating Kill Team as one of their real games, okay? That is a good thing. But it comes with the negatives of Games Workshop treating Kill Team as one of their main games. It means that in general we're probably going to be getting far better support than we ever have before. It means we're going to be getting, I would hope, a better level of play testing, a better level of rules design in general, better releases, more, interesting and attention-grabbing releases, more time dedicated to us in Warcom, in White Dwarf. All of this stuff, it's positive. But Games Workshop is, of course, a company, and they cannot just give you, hey, here's 18 factions rules and 18 factions models. Have fun. That doesn't work for any company. It's not even a GW thing. That's just not how any company releases their models. Okay? There you go. Sorry. So we have to accept that we're going to be drip-fed, if you want to use that term, models and rules. Fine. I don't inherently mind this, except for the fact that really, Kill Team right now, something that should have 18 teams, has 6 teams. We have a third of the game of Kill Team at the moment. And I keep coming back to Necrons because I tried to play Necrons, but they're super slow and they're not great. And I think there's not really much they can do against a good player, to be honest with you. They don't have the speed to flank things, so I'm sure that when they get their artisanal team, there is going to be some sort of movement shenanigan. There is going to be another data sheet. We saw the Fly Boys. What are they called? Oh, it's gone. The Fly Boys, the Triarch Praetorians. We saw them in the core book. Maybe that is their answer to the movement issue, right? Maybe a Triarch Praetorian is the leader of your team. I don't know. Just that's not super lore friendly, but maybe it could be. I don't know. And that's how you get around their slow movement, because one of them is fast enough to flush the enemy out, which puts them into the line of fire of your good guns, right? Something, I'm just throwing it out there, who knows, I don't know. Or maybe just like one of the sub-factions in the old kill team was everyone can basically teleport 6 inches. That's their movement. Maybe suddenly the entire team has the phase ability, right? Something like that. But we don't know, and there is no way to know. And it might be, for Necrons, over a year. We know Eldaria are coming. That's why I'm not talking about Craft Worlds, the actual worst team in the game, right? It's why I'm talking about... I'm also not talking about Space Marines, because we know Space Marines at some point are going to be insane. Like, we don't know what they have planned for them, but they're going to be insane. So I'm talking Necrons. A faction that has already had their 40k releases, right? Similar to Death Guard. They've already had their 40k releases, so we're not kind of sitting around waiting for more of that. We're just here, and maybe they never get an update? We don't know. It's pure speculation. I'd be shocked if they didn't, obviously. But we don't know, and we don't know how long they're going to wait for. No clue at all. But essentially, Kill Team now has the same release cycle as 40k. Let us take, for example, Tau in 40k. They have been terrible for the entirety of 9th edition. And I think they were also kind of bad in 8th edition, weren't they? That's not really the point, but, you know, they've been bad for over a year, for over 2 years now. And, like, okay, there's a new Tau Codex coming soon. Awesome, that's great. But you see everywhere Tau players saying, oh, I love the models. Look at these awesome dioramas I've made. Look at this guy in a ghost keel that I've made look like Titanfall 2. Isn't that awesome? Yes, that's super awesome, obviously. Do you play the game? No, because Tau suck. Oh, okay. Now in Kill Team, fine. They can be your main. Go play another team. It's 10 models. Deal with it. But guys, GW have a lot of constraints upon them, I imagine. And there are better games. You know what? Here you go. Hot take. If your artisanal team hasn't been released, and you now know the full Kill Team core rules so that you don't need to practice anymore, go and play Marvel Crisis Protocol. You're going to have a much better time. I don't like the miniatures for MCP, so I might just use my 40k models. But then, that's a game. Now that's a game, okay? And then, when your artisanal team gets released, come back. Enjoy the faction that you want to enjoy. There you go. Wow, what a bizarre take I've just had. But the reality is that under the current regime, if you will, the release cycle, you are waiting over a year to get one new datasheet, one special rule, 3 TAC ops, a few ploys. That's it. That's your real kill team. It just kind of sucks. Like, to be honest with you, I don't even blame GW, because as I said earlier, they cannot just give you 18 teams of both new rules and new models. They cannot do that. If it was just the rules, then yes, they could. But because a lot of the rules seem to be tied into new models as well, which again is a positive, that is a good thing, it means Kill Team is being supported properly, but they can't just give us all of that at once. So we're kind of stuck with a third of a game at the moment. Okay, guys, well, you know, that's me done lamenting the fact that some teams are not going to have anything for over a year. If they ever get anything. Let's just assume they get something at some point, right? But, like, that kind of sucks. Also, okay, I'm done, whatever. Cool, thanks. Nice, good talk, Glass. Cheers. You've really perked my spirits up today. On a side note, I'm hyped about Kill Team. Might not have come across, but like the last few months since Kill Team released, since Octarius dropped, October Octarius, how about that? I've actually been, you know, I've been very hesitant to start playing the artisanal teams. Now I'm on holiday, so I can't play at all. Very annoying. But I plan to crank, get some games in over Christmas, January, really go for it. And I feel like I'm finally ready to play the artisanal teams properly. You know, I'm relatively adept at the core rules now. I fully understand everything, I think. So yeah, I'm actually really excited to start playing the real game of Kill Team. Don't get me wrong, compendium teams have been great. I've enjoyed compendium. I've fully got my money's worth out of that. I'm a slow learner. I like to play things safe. The reason I took Grey Knights to every tournament I went to is because it's 5 models. I don't have to think about it. They all do the same thing. They're all pretty good at everything they do, right? Like, that's just me. I play things safe. That's my jam. Why am I saying that? I don't use that phrase, but I am today, apparently. But you know what me playing the artisanal teams means. It means I can finally start doing some actual faction focuses, something where I give some real in-depth advice that one can't just find randomly on the internet and is unique to me, which is awesome. Because until now, if I were to do that, and I probably could fake it, amalgamate other people's information and regurgitate it to you in a way that is still useful, ideally. That's the whole point of my channel, really. But now this way it will actually mean something to me when I tell you the thing. So I'm pretty hyped about that, actually. Yeah, I might do 1 or 2 warm-up faction focuses, probably Grey Knights if I had to guess, because that's the faction I know, I suppose. You know, just to test the format of how I want to deliver it to you. But in general, yeah, I'm excited to start playing Kill Team proper. The actual artisanal teams where everything has to work together to actually be a good team. So I'm hyped. So I guess final question would be, which faction, artisanal faction, should I play as my main? Currently leaning towards Warp Coven. I think they're a strong team, but they're not top tier, which satisfies me pretty nicely. It means that, you know, if I get some good wins, people are going to say, oh wow, he really knows what he's doing. But also, if I'm up against a compendium team with 1 or 2 exceptions, I have a pretty good chance of winning. So I can also just sit back on my laurels and say, oh, I got the win because I'm a good player. But no, it was the team that got the win for me, you know. That's my thinking there, Warp Coven. But maybe commanders have awesome models, you know. Anyway, this has been Glass Half Dead, thinking about kill teams. Thank you. Once again, like, subscribe, leave a comment, check out my Patreon, that'd be awesome. All links to everything I do in the world, throughout all of time, ever, linked in the description, the top comment. If you could check out some of those links, that'd be awesome. Alright guys, this has been Glass Half Dead. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've had a good day and continue to have a good day. Goodbye.